An entitled Karen messes with the wrong person on the wrong day, as she decides to call me selfish all because I took a spot at a table in a coffee shop. But I decided that I was not going to take that sitting down, so I followed her out of the coffee shop as she left, and I gave her the exact same energy she gave me, eventually putting this entitled Karen right back in her place. And I've honestly never felt better about getting back at someone in my life. Here's what happened. Okay, so this happened back in November. Out of the blue, my healthy, hardworking 41-year-old husband had a stroke. We were just chatting one night, and then suddenly our lives changed in the blink of an eye. An ambulance was called, and we spent a horrific night wondering whether my husband was coming home again. He was put on the stroke ward, and for the first 2 days, I was back and forward to the hospital constantly. It is not close to my house, so when I was unable to be there due to visiting hours, or even him having some kind of test, I would go to a coffee shop not far from the hospital but much closer to my house. I also chose that place as I know the staff. I work for myself, so I would take my laptop or my book and just kill some time until I could go back to the hospital, and the longest I was ever there was maybe an hour and a half. Well, enter the entitled Karen of the story and her browbeaten husband. I was trying to answer some emails and was letting people know what had happened when I heard it. She said to me, "You are so selfish sitting there when other people are in the queue." I look up, not sure who she's talking to, but apparently it was me. Now, I know that people table hogging is annoying, but for starters, there were quite a few empty tables around me, and secondly, there were people who had been there before I even got there. Now, she didn't wait for me to reply, and instead she just huffed her way out the door, muttering about how I was selfish and she had seen me there yesterday. Now, I don't think she expected me to follow her, but that's exactly what I did. I was tired, I was worried about my husband, and I was very mad that she didn't have the guts to say it to my face and stick around. She picked the wrong time and the wrong woman to mess with. I asked her to repeat what she said to my face, and I said to her, yes, I was sitting on my laptop, but the staff knew I was there waiting to go back to the hospital as my husband just had a stroke, and this coffee shop is close to the hospital for me in case there's an emergency, and I still need to work, so I'm doing what I needed to do. And on top of that, maybe you should just mind your own business, or at least have the common decency to say it to my face. And in hindsight, I maybe should have not called her a geriatric old cow bag, but that's exactly what I did. She then responded by screaming at me and saying, "I'm only 53. But I responded by saying, "Yikes, you're only a little bit older than me. Man, you must have had a hard life. Sorry about that." When I said that, she stormed off and went back to the coffee shop, and my friend told me that she was a pain in the neck for harassing some of the students who came to work there, and she always got a takeaway coffee. But despite it all, I was one of the first people to stand up to her, and I think her big mistake was thinking that I would take it. But she definitely messed up, as one of the benefits of being a part of Gen X is that we just don't care anymore, and she definitely should have known better. Now, I do feel bad about commenting on how she looked, as I believe we all age gracefully, but in my opinion, she absolutely deserved everything else. Seriously, what is wrong with people? How can you possibly go into a coffee shop, see some random woman sitting by a table on her laptop, and think to yourself, yes, this is my chance to tell her off? Like, the original poster literally did nothing to this entitled Karen, but the entitled Karen still went out of her way to make a big scene and like try and take a shot at her. Like, that's so rude and completely, quite literally uncalled for. Like, you're just sitting there answering your emails. You didn't do anything to her. But also, it is incredible to me that the original poster is like, "Oh, you want to start stuff? Cool, let's start this bonfire." And then they literally follow them out of the coffee shop. Like, that is crazy to me. I definitely don't think I would have the guts to do that personally, and I would just chalk that up as some weirdo who clearly is having a bad day. But no, the original poster was not having any of that. Their husband had a stroke, they're stressed out, they've got work, they gotta make it to the hospital. Like, seriously, they're at their wits' end. And it's so funny because this entitled Karen got the same energy back that she gave, and then suddenly she turns all red in the face and can't handle it anymore. Well, if that's the case, then don't start the fire in the first place. This is all hilarious to me because it was completely avoidable, and all this stupid Karen had to do was get her coffee and leave the store. But instead, she decided to pick a fight with the wrong person, and in my opinion, she got exactly what she deserved. If you like Am I the Jerk, you're probably going to love Am I the Genius. Check it out, link down below in the description. Also, go to amithejerk.com/submit if you would like to submit your own stories. My mother keeps falling for different scams over and over again, costing her thousands of dollars from her bank account and her retirement fund, and I'm honestly just so sick of it. So after this last incident where she gave away her bank information, I have officially given up and have chosen to step away from my mom and refuse to involve myself in fixing her problems ever again. And for the first time, I honestly feel at peace with my decision. Here's what happened. Okay, so for a bit of background, my 68-year-old mother is losing her mind, and she has been for a while now. We knew she had been conversing with several people online for over a year, most of which claimed to be famous men, and all of which needed money for various things. We had been telling her since December that she was being scammed, tried involving DHR and the agency who helps protect seniors, but all of it fell on deaf ears. Courts won't do anything without medical diagnosis, neurologist appointments take months, so we're just stuck trying to keep her from self-destructing until then. At the end of February, she finally admits that she needs help. Actually, she called my brother and said that she was broke and needed to fix it, but we're just gonna say that she was asking for help. Per the bank, her home was a few hours from going into foreclosure on the day that we got the call from her, and her utilities were being turned off the very next week. She was over $100,000 in credit card debt, most of it from sending these men pictures of every single credit card she has. She also gave them all her bank account information and sent at least $30,000 in cash via Bitcoin ATMs or prepaid gift cards. I'm not sure I'll ever know the exact amount that she has spent on them, but I do know that she owes about $7,000 in taxes this year from all the withdrawals that she made from her retirement, which she freely admits she sent to those men. She also still swears every one of them are actually all the celebrities they claim to be, and still truly believes one of them is the love of her life. My brother and I told her the only way we would help her is if she gave us power of attorney, which she thankfully did. We then caught up her house payments and reconnected the utilities. I have been going through her bills as I pay all of them and trying to help her budget, including finding her cheaper internet, TV, and cell phone plans, so she'll be able to pay her own bills going forward on her fixed income. She has been beyond nasty to me every step of the way, telling me what a disappointment I am and that she wishes I was never born. There have been some terrible remarks about possible self-harm, if you know what I mean, to which she laughed in my face and told the police she would never do anything that dramatic. She calls me almost daily and tells me that she fell over, only for myself or the ambulance to rush over and have her admit that she wasn't actually hurt, but was hoping a trip to the ER would get her pain meds. I took her phone, created a new Apple ID, and had it set so that she couldn't call or text anyone not saved in her contacts, and she can't add people or numbers or applications without my approval. It was the only thing short of changing her number that I could do to stop her contacting all these scammers. I mean, she adamantly refused to change the number because she's had that one for over 30 years, but she has still been getting hundreds of text messages from 6-digit numbers, and I'm guessing because she responded to them in the past, so they were able to get around the block. I have told her 1,000 times to not even open them. She needs to delete them or just send them to junk. Fast forward, and she had a hip replacement surgery this past week. While in the hospital, she received a text telling her that she won a free oxygen machine and that she needed to call this number to claim her prize. She texts me and tells me that she needs to add this number to her phone because it's a home health medical equipment company and she wants to talk to them about life alerts, so I add their number. She calls and they tell her that she just needs to give them her bank account information to cover shipping. And of course, she just gives it to them. Then she calls me to brag about her winnings. I call the same number and what do you know? I'm also an instant winner if I give them my bank account information. I press the number 0 to speak with a person and now I've won a free year of DirecTV. I hit 0 again and now I've won a free year of pest control from Terminex if I just give them my bank account information. So it's a total scam that my mother has fallen for while laying in her hospital bed recovering from surgery. It's almost like the last 2 months didn't happen, like she has learned nothing from this whole experience. She doesn't even need an oxygen machine, but decided that since her parents had breathing issues at the end of their lives, and because it was free, this opportunity was too good to pass up in case she needs one later. She tells me to just call them back and cancel, but I'm sure the kind phone scammers will totally forget your bank account if you just ask them nicely. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, she has been showing signs of progressive dementia and is at a moderate to moderately severe cognitive decline on all the staging models. So I get it, this is the new normal for her. She no longer possesses the mental capacity to understand real from fake, and she will continue to fall for stuff like this as long as she's alive. And I just can't do anything to stop it. I can just crawl along behind her and try to fix it, while hoping she shows up to the neurologist in May so that I can get the courts to intervene. She will always be in danger of herself and her own well-being, with the added bonus of being awful to me every step of the way. So I have to decide, am I done trying to save her from herself? I'm opening another new bank account for her tomorrow, and I'm putting what little money she still has in it. I have turned off all the automatic payments that have been coming out of my account, and I will be turning off all the parental controls I had established on her electronics. Then I'm telling her good luck, don't call me when you're on fire again, and then I'm blocking her on my phone. My brother and I believe she'll be in a mess again by the 4th of July, but you know what? That is her problem and not ours. I have had a heart issue for 2 years now. It's an inappropriate sinus tachycardia that isn't responding to medications. Both of my cardiologists have told me that stress is exacerbating my condition. I've lost 25 pounds over the last 3 months, which I'm also chalking up to stress. I literally cannot explain the peace I feel in my soul tonight, knowing that I have done everything I could for this woman, and now I get to just be done tomorrow. It's complicated and sad and frustrating because oh, how I have tried to help her, and I know how this will end, but it's also so very calming to know that I am done. I am completely free of this situation. First of all, I want to say this is really sad, both with your heart condition and also what's happened to your mom. Like, it really is not only incredibly frustrating to be treated the way you're being treated, but also to watch your own mother fall apart at the seams like this. Like, it really does seem like your mom is falling apart mentally, and that really is not fair. But more importantly, it's not fair for you and your brother to try and fix this every step of the way. I mean, she is literally in the hospital recovering from a hip replacement, and here she is once again falling for another scam. Like, that overall is really sad. So in my opinion, it completely makes sense as to why you're taking a step away, and I know if I was in your shoes, I probably would have done the exact same thing. I'm under the assumption that my entitled friend is expecting me to treat her for her birthday, but after she did absolutely nothing for my birthday, I'm kind of at a point where I don't even want to show up for her stupid birthday party, and at this point, I kind of don't know what to do. Here's what happened. Okay, for a bit of background, I went out with my friends for my birthday back in February. My one friend bought me lunch, 3 beautiful gifts that mean so much to me, and even a beautiful birthday cake. I was so surprised and I really felt so special. She even posted a lovely Instagram story about me, and it was really the sweetest, most meaningful thing ever. As for my other friend, she attended my birthday celebration with me and my other friend. We all met up for dinner, and my other friend didn't get me a gift. She didn't help pay for the cake or for the dinner. Now, I'm not looking for anything, and I'm sure that I sound very selfish, but the thing is, my friend is always spending so much money on her boyfriend. Like, she dropped $2,500 on his Christmas and birthday gift. And it's like, no, I'm not looking for anything like that. But my friend goes from spending so much money on her boyfriend to getting herself in financial problems and constantly getting her card declined. I'm so confused by her financial situation. And to be honest, I'm pretty hurt that she didn't even get me a gift. I'm not looking for anything crazy, but just like a token of appreciation would be nice. So here's the thing. My friend's birthday is in June, and she is already beginning to plan for her birthday. It seems the generous friend, the one that gave me such a lovely gift and a cake, won't be coming along because she just started a new job. So it would be me, my friend's brother, and possibly her toxic boyfriend. My friend is already talking about going out for her birthday dinner. She's already making plans and suggesting that we have to go out for her birthday, and she's very excited and deep in the weeds and making these plans. But I don't know how to tell her that I'm not covering her half, or if she even expects me to cover her for her birthday. For my birthday, I really was not looking for anything expensive, but I wish she at least got me a card or some kind of gift for like under 10 bucks. I know she has money since she buys everything for her boyfriend, and she's always spending money on anything and everything for him. And since my friend is not coming to the birthday, I really just don't know what to do, as it really feels like all of this is falling on me. Should I try to find a way of getting out of this birthday party, or should I just go and not pay for her? This is all so awkward, and I'm honestly so confused on what to do next. Yeah, I can understand why this is like a tricky situation, because you're literally going to a friend's birthday party who has never acted like a friend towards you in the slightest. And I'm right there with you. If you're going to be showing up to my birthday party, I'm not expecting literally anything. It could be an Amazon digital gift card for all I care. But like, at least show up with something for the party. Like, that's what the celebration is for, isn't it? Like, it doesn't make any sense why she showed up and didn't be like, hey, I just got you an Amazon gift card, happy birthday, or something along those lines. Like, that really would have been easy. So with that in mind, I don't blame you for not wanting to go to this birthday. So you definitely could go and get her like something really cheap, like a gift card or some kind of card with like 10 bucks in it, or something where it's like, hey, I'm giving you the same energy you gave me, and then you just leave it at that. And I definitely think you're on the right track of saying, no, I'm not going to split anything with this lady, and I'm only going to pay for myself and get her something simple. But if you really did not want to go and you wanted to stay out of this, I wouldn't blame you in the slightest. I think any reasonable person would be like, yeah, it kind of makes sense why you wouldn't want to go. And the best part about it is that you guys are all adults, and you really can just say, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it, but happy birthday, and then just move about your life from there. Like, she might still have a negative reaction if you do decide to to go that route, but like, you know you don't have to go, right? Like, I hope you know that you really can skip out on this if you really just don't want to go. You're definitely not being forced to go to this party, and it really is not that much of a high-stakes situation. So hopefully this all works out for you in some kind of way, because honestly, the friend you're describing here doesn't really sound like a good friend, and I really don't think you would be missing much if you did skip out on the party. Am I the jerk for not going to my stepdaughter's birthday, all because they disinvited my son from attending? Because right now I am still very upset, and at this point I seriously don't know what to do. Here's what happened. My fiance is 33 years old and I am a 34-year-old female, and we've been together for 5 years going on 6. I was there for him for his addiction recovery and raised his daughter while he was in jail and homeless and in rehab. I have a son from a previous relationship who is 15 years old, and we have a son together who's 2 years old. This last weekend was his daughter's 13th birthday, and the day before, he messaged me to say that his daughter doesn't want my son at her birthday because her boyfriend is coming over. For context, my son and her boyfriend get along really well, and she feels that she's just gonna be left out on her birthday. So I messaged my fiance, and I said I would stop by and drop off her gift, but I'm not gonna be staying, as my son was excited about seeing his sister on her birthday, and he was also very sad that he wasn't invited anymore. Well, my fiance then got angry, stating that I was making a huge deal out of it, saying to me that she's allowed to have whoever she wants at her birthday, which, by the way, I completely agree with. She has every right to do whatever she wants on her birthday. But on that note, I have just as much of a right to not show up, all because my son was upset about being uninvited. That way, he can know that I will always have his back. His mom called me to find out what was happening, and I told her what he had said. Well, she told me that his daughter never said that she didn't want her brother there, and that we must come to the birthday party. But I said no because my son was already upset. I didn't tell my son that my fiance was the person who uninvited him, but he figured it out and asked me if it was my fiance and not his sister who didn't want him around. I ended up taking my son to the movies and the arcade, but when he saw his sister at the mall, he decided he didn't want to stay any longer and we just straight up left. So I really need to know, am I the jerk for being upset about this whole situation? Because right now things are incredibly messy. Man, that was seriously a plot twist. I can't believe the fiance is acting that way and being like, yeah, no, my daughter doesn't want you there. But in reality, it's the fiance that doesn't want the son there. Like, what is going on? That is so disgusting and weird. Like, why did he do that? Why would you do that to a 15-year-old kid? And then you're gonna lie and blame it on your daughter? Like, that is so insane to me. That is such a betrayal of trust. The fact that this guy would go against your son for literally no good reason, in my opinion, is just so unacceptable. And this is someone you're getting ready to marry. Like, I'm seriously left speechless that this guy would try and throw your son under the bus, and all without a solid reason why. It just doesn't make any sense to me. So no, you are definitely not the jerk. I would be very upset about this as well, because in my opinion, the way your fiance is acting is absolutely unacceptable. An entitled jerk gets his car scratched by one of our cars after he parks illegally near our property, and I'm honestly still blown away by this guy's entitlement after he tried to take us to court just to demand full compensation. Here's what happened. Okay, so I work at a car rental place that has a car wash next door. They were owned by the same guy though, and the car wash was essentially a side hustle with a bonus of being able to clean the rental cars. As such, we constantly drove in and out of the two lots. The gap between the two driveways was just big enough to fit a car, so it was a tight turn, made even tighter if a car was parked there. After discussing this with the city council, they agreed to paint the curb between the two driveways yellow, just to make it illegal to park there. But as you can probably imagine, people of course still park there. One day, a guy with one of those obnoxiously large Fords parked there, and you know the type. It's the kind where it takes up multiple parking spots at the mall, the type of car that has an owner with a big ego and a very short temper. On that day, we had to clean a bus for a family on their way from the airport. They were ahead of schedule, so we had to move fast. One of my colleagues did his best to navigate around the Ford, but he couldn't do it, and he scraped a huge gash into the panel above a tire. Now, as I'm sure you can guess, when the owner saw this, he flipped out. We tried telling him that he shouldn't have parked there and that it's illegal, but he simply didn't care, because according to him, he has a big, expensive car, so he's allowed to park anywhere he wants. And he said that he chose this spot so that he was away from other people, thus reducing the risk of damage. And obviously, that didn't really work out for you, did it, buddy? Well, this entitled jerk demanded compensation, but we straight up refused. So fast forward, and this idiot actually took us to court. But thankfully, after all was said and done, he lost. The curb was yellow, so he definitely shouldn't have parked there. And as a result, he was ruled completely at fault. Yeah, that guy sounds like an obnoxious jerk. Seriously, the curb is yellow. It's yellow for a reason. That means you can't park there. I seriously can't stand when people act like that and then try to turn around and be like, oh, I can't believe you. Like, seriously, buddy? No, I can't believe you. Just literally move your car anywhere else and you could have avoided getting a scratch on your car. But clearly, entitled jerks like this can't see logic, because if he did, he could have avoided all of this trouble in the first place. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist at the top of the description. And if you want some chill music to put on in the background, check out easymode.com. If you like Am I the Jerk, subscribe to Am I the Genius. Everything will be linked down below in the description.